Today, we're talking about the president's son, Hunter Biden, being convicted, Apple announcing its first AI-focused software update, the results of EU elections, and other top news for Wednesday, June 12th. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with the pour over today. Here's the quote of the day. More men fail through lack of purpose than lack of talent. Billy Sunday. Let's get started with some espresso shots. In an unprecedented verdict, Hunter Biden became the first child of a sitting president to be convicted of a crime yesterday. He was found guilty on 3 felony gun charges. After emotional testimony from Hunter's ex-wife and sister-in-law, jury deliberations began Monday afternoon and lasted 3 hours. Jurors unanimously found the 54-year-old businessman and lawyer guilty of lying on a federal application about his drug use, lying to a gun dealer, and illegally possessing the firearm. Mr. Biden faces up to 25 years in prison and $750,000 in fines, but first-time nonviolent offenders typically receive shorter sentences. A sentencing date has not been set. Hunter left the courtroom without talking to the press. President Biden issued a statement promising to respect the judicial process as Hunter considers an appeal. He's previously said he would not pardon his son. The verdict is big world news, but small eternal news. We shouldn't allow this, or any other child, to consume our thoughts, direct our emotions, or dull our hope. God is not shaken or surprised, and our job as His followers has not changed. Love God and love others. Hebrews 13:8 says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Coming to an iPhone near you this fall, an actually useful Siri. On Monday, Apple finally unveiled its plans for AI at its annual developers conference. Its so-called Apple Intelligence is powered by OpenAI's ChatGPT and will enable Siri to perform action across apps. For example, hey Siri, attach that email of Jim at the Grand Canyon to this email, write and summarize text, manage notifications, and much more. Apple emphasized user privacy, saying that AI features are optional and will utilize on-device processing and Apple's private cloud. Elon Musk is skeptical, saying the partnership with OpenAI is an unacceptable security violation and suggesting he may ban Apple devices from the premises of his companies. Non-AI upgrades coming to iOS 18 include the ability to schedule text, react messages with any emoji, and lock individual apps. Consumers and companies alike can use technology to hoard power and wealth or bless others. Whatever technology you're using, remember to use every resource at your disposal to honor God and love others. Proverbs 11:25 and 26 says, a generous person will be enriched, and the one who gives a drink of water will receive water. People will curse anyone who hoards grain, but a blessing will come to the one who sells it. The continent of cobblestones and cafes has spoken, and it's moving right. 720 seats in the EU's parliament were up for grabs in the twice-a-decade vote across 27 countries. Nationalist parties had a strong showing, center parties held steady, and left-wing parties lost ground. Practically speaking, results spell increased pressure to tighten Europe's immigration rules and more skepticism towards Ukraine support. France's right-wing populist party, led by Marine Le Pen, won most of France's seats, securing more than twice the support of the runner-up, President Emmanuel Macron's rival centrist party. After Sunday's defeat, Macron dissolved France's National Assembly and called for snap legislative elections, risking his governing coalition's slim majority on hopes that voters will elect a more clear majority. Ms. Le Pen welcomed the announcement, and voting will take place before the Paris Olympics. Just as many Americans view the outcomes of foreign elections with a certain level of detachment, Christians view earthly political outcomes as secondary to the campaign of our eternal home, where we hold our truest citizenship. 2 Corinthians 5:16, 19, and 20 says, From now on, then, we do not know anyone from a worldly perspective. In Christ, God was reconciling the world to himself, not counting their trespasses against them, and he has committed the message of reconciliation to us. Therefore, we are ambassadors for Christ, since God is making his appeal through us. The Every Woman's Bible is a study Bible for the heart and mind. Engaging study notes and devotionals address topics relevant to women in cultural, historical, and literary clarity and context to gain greater understanding. Over 100 Every Woman's Bible scholars, writers, and contributors, all women, from around the world invite you into a global community. Begin your journey today at everywomansbible.com. Tyndale's best-selling Every Man's Bible is also available. In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. Up in the northern suburbs of America, Surrey, Canada's parliament has been rocked by allegations of treason. A new, heavily redacted report by an all-party group of Canadian lawmakers alleges that unnamed politicians have been working with foreign governments, especially China and India, to boost Liberals in elections. Conservative leaders want names, but Prime Minister Trudeau's government called their requests irresponsible. Israel and Hamas may be close to a ceasefire? Yesterday, Qatari and Egyptian mediators said they had received a message from Hamas formally accepting the UN-backed truce proposal outlined by President Biden last week. Secretary of State Blinken said that Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu reaffirmed his commitment to the proposal a day earlier. Despite both sides apparently agreeing, uncertainty remains. Coups aren't just for countries. Activist shareholder Elliott Investment Management bought a $1.9 billion stake in Southwest Airlines and is calling to oust the CEO. Elliott blamed Southwest's leadership for failing to adapt to the changing airline industry, leading to 50% decrease in stock price. Southwest Airlines disagrees and expressed confidence in its current leadership. The WNBA announced that the start of its season was its most watched ever, averaging 1.32 million viewers per game, a roughly 3 times jump from 2023. Over half the games have been sellouts and merchandise sales are up 236%. Meanwhile, the NBA's Lakers' search for a head coach continues. After UConn's coach, Dan Hurley, rejected a 6-year, $70 million offer. Have you heard? Apparently, African elephants call each other by name. New research involving machine learning determined which elephant sounds were likely names based on how they responded. For instance, a mom calling out to her calf. They tested the results by playing recordings to individual elephants who would energetically respond to their name sounds but ignored others. And that's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening. If you're listening on the Apple Podcast app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We appreciate your support and hope you have a great day. We'll see you on Friday.